In this video, I will be showing you how to play 4 strikes and you're out. If any of you have played baseball, you know it's usually 3 strikes and you're out, but in this game, you get 4 strikes. This game is very similar to Hangman, but for math. For this game, you will need at least 2 players. So I have my game board set up like this. Each one of these spaces is a digit in a 2-digit number. And then I just have every number from 0 to 9 written down. So each line space will be where 1 digit in your number will go. The first player will think of a math equation and solve it, but keep it a secret from the other player. The second player will guess the numbers that may go into each of the spaces. So I have an equation here that I will keep secret from you, and I will pretend that you are guessing some numbers. Let's say that you guess the number 4. I'll check my secret equation to see if there is a 4 in it. So there is a 4 in my equation, and it goes right here. I will then put a check mark above the 4 because you've guessed it and got it correct. Let's say your next guess was a 2. I'll check my equation to see if there's a 2 in it. Yes, there's a 2 in my equation, and it goes right here. So again, I will put a check mark above the 2 because you've guessed it and it was correct. Let's say you guessed 6 next. I'll check my equation to see if there's a 6 in it. Nope, there's no 6 in my equation, so you'll get a strike. So I will just put an X over the 6. It's okay that you got a strike because you have 4 strikes and you're out. Let's say you guess a 5. I'll check my equation. That's a good guess because there are actually 2 5s in my equation, and they go right here. So are you starting to look at this equation and how the numbers that you have guessed correctly could give you clues to what numbers belong in the empty spaces? You may want to look at the ones place of all of your numbers to make your next guess. You can see that in the first number, we have a blank in the ones place. In the second number, we have a 4 in the ones place, and in a third number, we have a 5 in the ones place. You might think, some number plus 4 is 5. Oh, 1 plus 4 is 5. That number must be a 1. Let's have that be our next guess. Let me check my equation, and you're right, there's a 1. When you guessed the 5s, I forgot to mark it, so I'll just put a check mark above the 5s. And you guessed the 1, so I'll put a check mark above the 1. Now you might be thinking 21 plus something equals 55. You could look at the tens place in each number. We have a 2 in the tens place here, a blank in the tens place here, and a 5 in the ones place here. So you might think 2 plus some number equals 5. 2 plus 3 equals 5. So 3 should be my missing number. Let me check my equation. You're right, there's a 3 in that space. So now we have our full equation, 21 plus 34 equals 55. And you only got 1 strike. If the second player figures out the equation with less than 4 strikes, they win. Each player can take turns thinking of a secret equation and having the other player guess. For this game, you could use addition, like I did, or you could use subtraction, and for an extra challenge, you could think of 3-digit numbers to use. Have fun!